Hello, my beautiful book besties. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna, and for today's reading vlog, I am going to be attempting to get through as much of my summer TBR as possible. Like, really challenging myself. Can I finish my summer TBR? The answer to that is a definite no, but can I finish my summer TBR that's on my August TBR? I think so. I am not a summer girly whatsoever. I always have tried to be, and then once we're in summer, I'm just like, no, I'm not thriving, especially with how hot and muggy Minnesota has been this year, and then like me being pregnant on top of that. I've honestly just been miserable and like staying inside. So I feel like I have not really been, what's the word? I have not been romanticizing summer, I guess, but I want to try to do that today with my reads. Because I am like a seasonal reader. Like, I like reading books in their proper season, like a summery book in the summertime, a fall book in the fall time. I just think that way it's so much more atmospheric for me, and it turns out to be such an immersive read when I do it that way. Again, not that I've really been outside too much this summer, but I'm trying, you guys, okay? So this week we are reading only summery books, or books that were on my like summer TBR before summer's over, because in my mind, fall starts September 1st. And I cannot wait for fall reads. Honestly, like, I'm just a fall girly at heart. Fall is where I thrive. I'm just a cozy homebody, and fall books just have like immaculate vibes that I feel like no other seasonal reads can touch. Anyways, I want to talk about the first book I'm going to be starting in today's video. But while we're on the topic of book besties, I met the absolute sweetest book bestie yesterday at Target. You know who you are if you're watching this. And it was just like so fun, even just to talk to her for a few minutes. I have never been like approached like that, or like, I don't want to say like recognized, but yeah, I've never had a book bestie like come up to me in public and be like, hey. So it was just such a sweet encounter, literally made my whole entire week. And I just want to say a huge like thank you to this community. Like, I love you guys. I love that we get to like chat books all the time. And if you ever do see me in public, don't be scared to come say hello. Anywho's, the first book that I'm going to be starting for today's vlog, that I've actually started a little bit already, is The Faraway Inn by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a YA cozy fantasy, and you may be thinking to yourself, Brianna, like, this book doesn't really look summery. A cozy fantasy doesn't really sound summery. I promise you, this is summery. Our female main character, Calissa, is going to visit her aunt in Vermont for the summer. Calissa is not having a great start to her summer whatsoever. She just found out her boyfriend was cheating on her. She has college essays coming up. She needs to get her college applications in. She's just very, very sad, very, very stressed. And her aunt runs a bed and breakfast in Vermont. So Calissa says she's gonna go there for the summer, help her aunt out, and just like get away from the reality of life right now, since her life has not been too great lately. But when she gets there, her aunt is definitely a little bit grumpier than she would have imagined, which, to be fair, Calissa has not seen her aunt since she was 5 years old. But she's trying to prove to her aunt that she can help out, she can stay there for the whole summer. And she also makes friends with like the inn's groundskeeper's son. And while Calissa is there, she starts noticing some weird things going on at the bed and breakfast. Almost some magical things happening. I'm having a really, really great time with this one so far. It is just so cozy, but it also has like the perfect summer vibes with it. I can't wait to dive into this book some more. So I will see you back when I have another update on it. quick update. It is a little bit later in the day. I think it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm a little bit more than halfway through The Faraway Inn. I am really, really enjoying this. It is just such a digestible, bingeable read, I guess. And maybe that's because it's YA, so I feel like with YA books, like, the writing is always just a little bit more simple. But even for this being a YA book, like, it is so much deeper than I thought it would be. Like, what Calissa is going through, but then how she's also, like, carrying herself so well after what she's been through, and how she's just, like, giving herself these reminders, I guess, that she just deserves better. And, like, for a teenage girl, I applaud her. And then Jack, that is, like, the son of the groundskeeper. Him and Calissa have become friends, and then he also has some, like, personal stuff going on, and it's like, these kids, literal teenagers, are going through some devastating stuff and just, like, carrying themselves so strongly and, like, forming such a great friendship with each other throughout these challenges that they're facing. So it has a lot more depth than I would have expected for just, like, a YA cozy fantasy. I feel like with cozy fantasies, you never really have anything, like, too high stakes happening usually, but there's definitely high stakes stuff going on at this inn and with Jack. So I'm really, really enjoying that. Also, just, like, the imagery of this book is so good. I have kind of talked about this a little bit in the past with other books, but sometimes, like, if descriptions, I don't know, how do I describe this? With some books, I find them, like, overly described, I guess. Some books, it feels like all you're reading is just descriptions of everything. And with that, I hate it. Like, I hate a book that is written like that. But with this one, the imagery is done so well. Like, it gives you just enough detail and description to feel like you're in the scene, but it's not, like, going overboard. Like, they're talking about baking and making tea, and I'm like, I literally feel like I'm in the kitchen with you. So it's very, very immersive in that way. So it's a really fun time, but, like, at the same time, our main character, Calissa, is trying to help her aunt save this magical inn and run it with her during the summer, while she's, like, carrying her own baggage and, like, feeling very depressed. And then Jack is also struggling so much with personal stuff in his life, but still there and making Calissa laugh. So I'm really enjoying it. And I'm really enjoying this. Side note, but one thing about me is I love Witch's Brew Alani. Like, I could drink that every single day of the year. Obviously, since I'm pregnant, I'm not drinking energy drinks. I know you can have up to 200 milligrams of caffeine a day while pregnant. I'm personally choosing to drink no caffeine while pregnant, and also I don't think you're supposed to drink any energy drinks at all. I have been craving a Witch's Brew Alani, so I mixed an apple Olipop with some caramel syrup that I had, and it's so close to an Alani Witch's Brew. Like, it's not exact, but it'll hold me over while I'm pregnant and while I'm craving a Witch's Brew. And I feel like this is a really fun mix, like a fun drink with a good book. Obviously, this drink is a little bit more fallish because it's caramel apple, but I still think they go together quite well. So I'm gonna keep sipping this. I'm gonna keep reading away. Let's see if I can have this done by the time my husband gets home tonight. Because I honestly feel like I'm just flying through. Like, it's one of those books that you just don't really want to put down. It is so magical and whimsical. I will say the pregnancy fatigue is beating me up today though, so I might try to go sit outside just to see if it can, like, wake me up a little bit. Maybe see you reading this outside next. It's the next morning. I didn't quite have the time to finish The Faraway Inn last night before my husband got home from work, and then we decided to go see the new Spider-Man movie last night, so I did not have very much of this to finish this morning, so I just went ahead, sat outside this morning before it's too hot out, just got some fresh air, and I finished up the book. This was so freaking cute. It was so good. Like, I very much enjoyed this. I love Calissa. I love the kind of like chaotic found family that she finds within the book. I love all of the side characters. Like sometimes with side characters, I feel like I can't really connect with them because either we don't see enough of them or we don't get like enough interaction with them. But in this book, I feel like Calissa was able to like form such deep connections with every single one of the side characters. So it's like I genuinely cared about them and I cared about Calissa's relationships with them. It was so sweet. A very, very heartwarming book, even though it is like a little bit higher stakes, but definitely cozy to its core. And honestly, even though this is like a summery book because Calissa is there over the summer, I feel like this is a book that can be read during any season. I don't know, just with like the cozy vibes of it and it being in Vermont and like in the woods, like it doesn't need to be a summery book. Oh, if you are watching this video and it's not summer, which to be honest, I don't know why you would really be watching this video if it's not summer, but if you are, this is still definitely a book that I would recommend reading any time of the year. It is the perfect book if you want a bit of magic, some whimsicalness, some humor, a little bit of romance, and it's stunning. I think I'm gonna go with a 4-star rating on this. I did love it. I feel like it did drag on a little bit too much at certain parts. Also, some of the quirkiness here and there, I did just find like a little tad bit cringy, just like for my own personal taste, but like overall, I loved the quirkiness. I loved kind of like this hodgepodge of different characters and different beings because there's like multiple different beings staying at the inn and it's just a really, really fun, cozy time. So first book of today's video has been completed, and the second book that I think I want to pick up now is The Summer of Second Chances by K.L. Walther. This is yet another YA book, but this is obviously YA romance. There should not be any magic in this. The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther is one of my favorite books. This one's taken us back to Martha's Vineyard, and I love a good second chance romance, so I think this will be really, really sweet. I also just love YA romances once in a while for a clean, sweet romance, you know, not really any spice. Not that I have anything wrong with spice. My cat is out here, and her name is Spice, if you didn't know, and she's just looking up at me like, what do you want, Mom? But I don't know, almost as like a palate cleanser. I genuinely have no idea what this book is about other than it's a second chance romance taking place on Martha's Vineyard. So this is the next book we are going to be starting today. Currently sitting on the floor with Spice because she wants snuggles, but I need to give you a reading update.
Do you want to say hi, Spice? Say hi.
It is the next day. I got a little bit of a start on The Summer of Second Chances yesterday. I am now about halfway through the book, actually. As I said before, this is a YA romance. It's definitely not as like real second chance as you would think based on the title. We'll get into that a little bit. This book follows Olivia, who is I think 18 or 19 years old. She just graduated from high school. It is now summer break, but she will not be starting college this fall, just like all of her friends. She's going to take a gap year because her grandmother, who basically raised her, now has dementia. So Olivia really wants to be there and be around her grandma as much as she can before her dementia progresses like too bad, which it's already bad. There's already days where her grandma has no idea who she is, but she also still has good days. So Olivia's mom passed away when she was young. Her dad is an airline pilot, so he's always working. He remarried, but Olivia's stepmom is just like not the greatest mom, I guess, to Olivia at least. But Olivia's stepmom's family is having a family reunion on Martha's Vineyard this summer, so they're going to stay on Martha's Vineyard for about 3 weeks. Olivia really does not want to do this. One, because she does not want to leave her grandma. She usually visits her grandma like every single day in the nursing home. And two, because like I said, like her and her stepmom don't have a great relationship. She doesn't really know any of her stepmom's family. She just kind of feels like she's gonna be the black sheep. But when Olivia gets there, her bunkmate in her cabin is Connor, and they actually knew each other quite some time ago when they went to the same summer camp. So they were like kids, obviously not romantically involved with each other because they were children, but they do know each other. That's why I'm like, maybe the second chance part, like it's not a true second chance romance, unfortunately. I only say unfortunately because I love second chance romance. So that's what the book is about. I was really liking the beginning of this book, probably like the first 100 or so pages. We were really learning about Olivia and her relationship with her family, just like a lot of her background and why her grandma is so important to her. And we were also like getting to Martha's Vineyard and setting the scene for the rest of the book. So I was really, really liking that. But now that we're like on Martha's Vineyard and she's been hanging out with Connor, I feel like the whole book, like I don't know what page I'm on exactly, 187. So like for, I don't know, the past 87 pages, let's just say, I feel like it's been very, very repetitive. Like they're just kind of doing the same thing all the time. And the story, I feel like, is not really going anywhere. You would expect there to be more depth, I feel like, because Olivia is facing something really, really hard with her grandma having dementia, and her grandma is the closest person in her life, and she's losing this person, you know? And it's like her grandma is usually always on her mind, but now that she's like on Martha's Vineyard and hanging out with this boy, it's like not really something she thinks about. And I don't know, I just think it's a little bit sad. So I wish we were getting more emotional depth to this book than we're currently getting. Maybe it'll come back later, but I have been pretty bored with it for like the last 80 some pages, I would say. There are a lot of cameos from so many other characters that K.L. Walter has written. I think I've read 4. This is my 4th book by her. So a lot of characters that I've seen, some characters that I love. So that is fun getting to see them. But yeah, I'm just not really caring about Olivia and Connor's relationship, I guess. Honestly, don't even feel like picking this up and really reading right now. But I don't know, it was a pretty gloomy morning. It rained this morning and it was really, really cloudy and just kind of like icky out. But I think the sun's coming out now, so maybe if I were to like go sit outside, that would motivate me to pick the book up, because that's really the only thing I do when I'm sitting outside is I read. So we'll see how much more I get rid of this today. But that's my update on the book so far. I finished The Summer of Second Chances by K.L. Walter and kind of regret that I did, kind of regret not DNFing this book because I did not end up liking it. I had kind of told you guys like where my thoughts were at a little bit over halfway through the book. Like beginning was going well. I wouldn't say it was like amazing, but like it was fine. I thought it was building up to like a good book. No, unfortunately not a good book for me. I was just so bored. I did not care about the characters and like their romance. The whole like second chance but not even being second chance, I just like don't like that. Very, very repetitive. It felt like the characters were doing the same exact thing every single chapter. Definitely not enough like heart in this book for me. Like there could be so much more emotional depth in this book. Like the main character's grandma, who basically raised her, now has dementia and sometimes doesn't even remember who she is. Like that is so incredibly sad, and I wish we would have built on that more. But it was more so just like our main character going around Martha's Vineyard because she found out her grandma had been to Martha's Vineyard. So she was going to visit all the places that like her grandma had been, and it's like I like the whole homage to that, but the execution I feel like was just done so poorly because our female main character would like go do it with this boy from her past, and they'd like turn it into little dates, but like the romance was just so weird. I don't know if it's just like too cringy, like too high school for me now as I'm 23, but I just did not like the romance whatsoever. I do not like our female main character's parents, and I really wish we would have gotten to see more of her and her grandmother's relationship, because that would have been sweet, but like also sad, obviously. Did not end up liking this one. I went with a 2-star rating. And I decided to pick up Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. Now this is on my summer TBR, only because it's literally called Pineapple Street, and pineapples remind me of the summertime. And also, this book has been on my TBR, let's see, this is an ARC from 2023. So about time I got to reading it. That's why I wanted it on my summer TBR, so I could like push myself to actually read it this summer and get it off of my TBR. This one I am a little bit of the way through, probably like a little over a third way, almost halfway through the book. I just needed to like sit down and read a bit of it so I could be able to tell you what it's about. It is just a very, very character-driven story. We are following these very wealthy characters in New York. So we're following 3 female characters. The first one is Darlie. I think she is the eldest daughter of the family. And then we have Sasha, who has been like married into the family. She feels like she doesn't really fit in because like she didn't come from a bunch of money like Darlie's family and her husband's family. And then the third character is Georgiana. She is the baby of the family. She's trying to figure out really what she wants to do with her life. She has this like budding romance, but it's kind of like a forbidden romance. So we are just following all of the drama throughout these 3 women's lives in this family. Like Darlie, she has a husband and a family, but her husband just lost his job, so now they're kind of dealing with the aftermath of that. Darlie is a stay-at-home mom, so it's like they kind of need her husband to be working. Sasha, like I said, she just feels like she does not really fit in with the family, so she's trying to figure out how to navigate that and also navigate her marriage, because she feels like her husband doesn't like 100% fully love her in a way that a husband and wife should love each other. And then Georgiana, like I said, she's found herself in a little bit of a budding romance that probably should not be happening because of the circumstances around it. But she's single. She doesn't want to be single anymore. She kind of wants to like grow up and live her life. And then the mom of this family is just like, I don't know, it's all very, very funny. There's a lot of family drama happening all the time. Like I said, very, very character-driven book. You're just following these women throughout their day-to-day and what is currently going on in their lives. But it has been such a quick and easy and just like entertaining read so far. So I do plan on finishing this today, because honestly I don't think it's gonna take me very much longer to finish. Would I say this is like a summary book? Probably not. Like, this is one of the books that you could read any time of the year. I think it's taking place in like April or May, so getting close to summer. But yeah, you don't need to like read it within a particular season. But I do think just like funny, dramatic books like this are some of the best books to read in the summer. Like, imagine going to the pool with this and just like sitting reading about these characters and like their obnoxious lives. I don't know, that just sounds like the perfect vibe to me. Unfortunately, I don't have a pool, so I can't do that. But I do think I want to go sit outside and read this today. So there's my reading updates as for right now. I'll see you with another one soon. I just finished Pineapple Street and oh my gosh, I had such a great time with this book. Honestly, like part of me regrets not reading it sooner, but then also part of me is happy that I like waited, because I think in 2023, like this was most definitely not my reading taste whatsoever. I don't think I really would have liked this back in 2023, but oh my gosh, like I really enjoyed this. I think this is totally a book that you could read in one sitting because it just sucks you in with all the drama, and it gets so juicy as like family secrets are being spilled and there's just like all this tension between the different family members. It seriously felt like you're watching like a reality TV show. Like, I don't know, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or like The Real Housewives, you know, like rich people reality TV shows. It felt like you were watching that. But even so, like these characters, they have a lot of depth to them, and there is a lot of character growth and development between all of them throughout the book. So it's like, it's not just like a mindless drama-filled book. Like there is more to it than just that. I really enjoyed seeing all the challenges that each member of the family was facing and how they dealt with that, how their actions definitely had some explosive consequences, and just all the reconciliation, I guess. I was getting really invested with one of the characters' storylines, but like by the end, I was invested with all of them. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna go with like a 3.5 star rating. Like I don't think it's quite a 4 because it did take me a little bit to get into. Like I said, I definitely didn't care about a few of the characters as much until later into the book. But there is so much that I liked about this, obviously, as I'm like gushing about it. And I just really think it goes to show, like, even no matter where you're at with your family, like if you're not as well off or if you're super rich, I think that this book had such a great family dynamic and like so accurate. So yeah, I think like a 3.5 star rating. I don't think it was quite a 4 for me, but I would definitely still recommend this book. And with me finishing this, that brings this video to an end. We successfully got 3 books off of my summer TBR, so I think that is pretty good for the week. There are still a lot more books on my summer TBR, but they're probably gonna have to wait until next summer. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got some good book recs out of it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below to see more of my videos, and I will see you back very soon with another video. Bye!